for the 2023 Kogi State Governorship election. Olayinka Braimoh tonight to discussing the November poll in the North Central State. All right, Mr. Braimoh, now let's talk about Okun people and the burden of choice. You're from Okun land in Kogi West, that same zone as the candidates of PDP and ADC. And many say this will limit the chances of the zone in the election. What's your take on this?
Well, we have 3 candidates from Okun, Kogi West, and in terms of that affecting the chances of the zone providing or being able to win the election, I choose to look at it in terms of the demography of poor people against the rich in the state. We have the constituency. We have the zone that is the largest zone in the state, larger than the Igala zone, larger than the Central, larger than the Kogi West. That is the zone where we have our poor people, where we have poor people. We have poor people all over the state. And since we have poor people all over the state, these are the people I want to take out of poverty. These are the people that I represent. It's not an ethnic agenda. And we've been doing politics of ethnicity for so long in the state, which is one of the reasons why the Galas are insisting that they need to retain the power. They need to get the power and keep it for life. And the Egbira says we must do it twice. And what we're saying to the people is let the candidates of the APC, the ADC, let them come out and tell the people what problem have they identified, what they need to do, and how they intend to do what they want to do. And let them make their choice.
Where, Mr. Braimoh, do you see a situation where one of you will step down for others to confront APC in the November governorship election?
At the moment, I can only speak for myself. I can't speak for the candidates of the other two parties. But I'm sure if they will look at it critically and look at what I have to offer, I believe they might consider stepping down for my candidacy. I mean, the candidate of the ADC, the candidate of the PDP, I'm sure they understand that I have that clear vision to bring our people out of poverty, which is in their best interest anyways, because there's nobody in Kogi State today that is earning, that the burden they are carrying is not much more than their income. So the candidates of those other parties, I want to believe that they will be fair in their judgment, and they might consider to step down for me.
All right, so tonight you've really talked about the need to shun politics of ethnicity. And I'm sure you're aware the issue of ethnicity is dominating the election rather than competence. But why this for a state yearning for development?
The reason why I focus more on development is because today, just looking at the history of the state, where you have the governor coming from the central. The governor coming from your backyard does not really bring money to your pocket. Having the governor from your zone doesn't put money in your pocket. Having the governor from your village does not put money in your pocket. Isn't it time we focus on more fundamental issues than politics of ethnicity? The situation in Kogi State is more like you have people in a pit and trying to dig the pit further. They're dividing us, with ethnicity, with religion. Because it's not just ethnicity that's the issue in Kogi State. There's the issue of religion. So they're dividing us with ethnicity and with religion. And these things don't put food on our table. What we'll be telling our people is you have to grow out of politics of ethnicity and religion and be able to focus on the policies of development. Let's talk about what will develop our people. You know, because our people have been so poor, their minds have been so decimated, and we don't have business with poverty in Kogi State. With what we have, where we are today, going forward, we don't have business with poverty. We have more than enough resources. We have more than enough in terms of human capital in Kogi State to be able to develop products and services. What would take out for money to come in? And that's my focus. And that's what I talk about. I refuse to be dragged into politics of ethnicity and religion.
All right, Mr. Braimoh. So earlier you said your start agenda will address how to harness the potentials in solid minerals, tourism, agriculture, trade. But I see that you do not have anything on addressing insecurity. So how do you intend to address the problem of insecurity, especially kidnapping, if elected governor of Kogi State?
All right. The start agenda in itself is a security agenda. You know, when you're driving cash flow, both because solid minerals will create jobs, tourism will create jobs, okay? Agriculture, you're talking about food security. I mean, the start agenda is talking about financial security and food security. That's the start agenda. Because poverty breeds insecurity. Poverty breeds violence. Now, every election cycle in Kogi State is always violent. And I'll give you case studies. When you think about Saudi Arabia, UAE, Qatar, they are prosperous nations. You don't have the level of insecurity and violence in these countries the way you have them in Yemen, in Afghanistan. And let's bring it home. When you look at during elections, in Lagos State, for instance, the kind of violence that are recorded in areas where a lot of poor people live is not the same as when you talk about Ikoyi, VI, and VGC axis. You don't have those kind of violence. Why? Because poverty breeds insecurity and violence. If people are busy making money, nobody will be available to be recruited for violence. That's what we're saying. We must create wealth. Once we create, because there's a nexus between prosperity and security. There's a connection between prosperity and security. We must create wealth for our people. We must drive in cash flow for our people to be able to make money. Drive in money, make money, save money, and grow the economy. This will take care of insecurity. For instance, our regenerative agriculture alone that will close the knowledge gap for the herders. When we talk about the herders and the farmers' crisis, what's the primary problem? It's a resource problem. The herder is looking for resources to feed his herds. The farmer is looking for resources, food, to feed his family and to make money.
All right.
Regenerative agriculture will take care of this, because with regenerative agriculture, when we train the herders, like a Sokoto Gudale, the number of kg that they will achieve in 4 years, with regenerative agriculture, they will achieve this within 2 years. So
all right,
Mr. Any reasonable person will embrace this.
So I see that some student groups like the Federation of Yagba West Students' Unions have declared their support for your candidacy. How crucial is this for you?
Well, it is, of course, I'm happy about the fact that the student union, the group of Yagba West, and not only Yagba West, and in Yagba East, and them supporting our candidacy is more because they understand what we intend doing. They understand the vision clearly. We've been engaging all people across board, both students, and they know I connect with them emotionally, socially, and intellectually. So, and they're smart people. They've made a smart choice, smart decision to be able to support our candidacy because they know that we will be able to create wealth, put monies in their pockets. To free people.
What are you getting from other critical sections of the state?
From politics of impoverish them to control them, to politics of empower them and have true influence.
So I was asking, what other support are you getting from other critical sections of the state?
Yeah, we are getting support across board, both from the market women, from the pastors, from the imams, from the artisans. Because for the artisans, of course, we're promising them that we're going to patronize them. You don't take the money for the state. You don't take it out of the state. When you have artisans in the state, what they can do in the state, we will ensure that we give them those jobs that can be done within our state. That's part of circulating the money within our economy. So we are getting support across board, not just from students alone.
All right, so let's talk about preparation.
Money, the subject of money affects everybody.
Right, so let's talk about preparation for the election. How will you rate it?
The election is still about 120 days away. And I think INEC, they are ready on their part. Not so much is going on in the state in terms of candidates. A lot of candidates are not moving around yet. They are not campaigning yet. A lot of them, maybe a lot of people are still consulting. So I think those of us that are serious are on the field.
All right, so you tried to talk about this earlier, so let's get back to it. Elections in Kogi State are usually marred by violence. What do you think can be done to check this in the coming election?
Well, at this point, I think the federal government needs to come in. This is an off-cycle election. We have Kogi, we have Imo, we have Bayelsa, state elections, governorship holding on the same date. So I want to believe that what the federal government needs to do is to be able to deploy more personnel into Kogi State before the election and during the election and after the election. That's what I think needs to be done, because I want to believe that we'll have enough human resources to be able to deploy to Kogi State during this election, to be able to curtail or prevent violence in the state. And perhaps if this can be done 30 days before the election, and perhaps another 20 days after the election, I think, the federal government needs to take that seriously. We urge the president to consider this proposal to ensure that at least 30 days before election, they can deploy men into the states to be able to curtail the activities of violent people in the state.
All right. So as an entrepreneur, how can we deliver a Kogi that works, where the problem of job creation is frontally addressed?
I didn't get that, please.
I'm asking, as an entrepreneur, how can we deliver a Kogi that works, where the problem of job creation is frontally addressed?
Okay. As an entrepreneur, by the way, you need an entrepreneur to run a state, because you have to look at the state as a business venture. You have your primary goal, and primary goal, wealth creation. Then from your goal, you look at your objectives, and which is why we say wealth creation is our primary goal. Our set objectives are make money, save money, grow the economy. Then we talk about the strategies the plan and the action, which is gospel, which is the simple strategy to be able to run the state. Because if you don't look at the state as a business venture, you will not be able to grow it to be functional and profitable for the people.
All right.
And that's the reason why I say you need an entrepreneur to be able to run the state that understand wealth creation and wealth distribution. Because we can run a Kogi State that is independent of Nigeria's economy, that is not dependent on federal allocation. Because, by the way, Kogi State, we are owing about 93.6 billion naira, closing Q1 2023. And a lot of our expected income from federal allocation, a lot of ISPOs are already been issued against our FAC. So we need to drive in cash flow. We need to drive in cash flow into our economy. That is the only way out. And that's the way I will look at it as an entrepreneur. And that's the way I'm looking at it as an entrepreneur. That we have to drive in cash flow into our economy.
All right. So as we wrap up tonight, what kind of a leader do you think Kogi needs at this time? And what's your message to the people of Kogi State as we move closer and closer to the election?
Yeah. The kind of leader we need is a visionary leader. Visionary leadership, that is what I'm offering. We need a visionary leader that will identify, that understands that we have to develop our tourist locations, like Omi Dam, that has amazing, amazing view. It's a big dam that was built that was commissioned on the 12th of May, 1998 by General Abdulsalami Abubakar, with amazing views, with the hills around it. We have the Oraha in Mopa. We have Obankoko. So you need a visionary leader, because development does not happen by chance or happenstance. It happens by deliberate, intentional, and coordinated action of visionary leaders. So what we need in Kogi State right now is a visionary leader, and that is what I'm offering.
So, message to the people of Kogi State in 30 seconds.
Pardon?
Message to the people of Kogi State in 30 seconds, please.
Okay, for my people of Kogi State, what we need at this point in time, it's wealth creation. Someone that will be able to create wealth for our people, to be able to take our people out of poverty. Because everyone from the state is carrying the burden of poverty, carrying the burden of a whole lot of people that is more than what we can bear. For us to be able to free ourselves and be free forever, you have to support a visionary leader. And that is what I'm offering under the Action Alliance, AA. And remember, when someone has done well, excellently well, what do they get? I mean, it's AA.
All right.
And that's what I'm offering, visionary leadership. And I trust that you will join me and you will support this vision to be able to take Kogi State out of poverty, create wealth for our people, and freedom, financial freedom and financial security for our people. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I've been speaking with the candidate of Action Alliance, AA, for the 2023 Kogi State governorship election, Olayinka Braimoh, for discussion on the November 11 poll in the North Central State and his agenda for the people of Kogi State. Thank you very much, sir, for coming on the program. You've taken a bold step, and we wish you the very best. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. I'm at the end of today's episode of Politics Tonight. I am Olajumoke Olatunji. Goodbye.